Speed. Getting there fast is why many people drive instead of walk. And it's why there are highways like these. Unfortunately, not all drivers adjust their speed to match driving conditions. As a result, driving too fast causes over 1.5 million crashes each year. Speed also makes collisions worse. As your speed increases from 55 to 65 miles per hour, the chances of dying in any crash double. And from 55 to 75, those chances triple. Also, speeding increases your chance of experiencing a crash. Why is that? Well, the faster you go, the longer it takes to stop if you need to. Like when someone pulls out in front of you. If you're going 60 miles per hour, it will take you well over 100 feet to stop. That's too much distance to stop before you hit this vehicle. Which is why it's so important to adjust your speed based on what you see, just in case the other driver doesn't see you and pulls out in front of you. Although your reaction time is pretty much the same at any speed, your braking distance increases at a much faster rate. For example, a vehicle going 40 miles per hour needs 3 times as much distance to stop as one traveling 20 miles per hour, not twice as much. And a vehicle going 60 miles per hour needs 9 times as much stopping distance than a vehicle going 20 miles per hour. The lesson here is that even though going faster may get you there a few minutes sooner, your risks increase substantially. How quickly you want to reach your destination is not the only factor that affects how fast you drive. In fact, there are 3 factors that affect how much stopping distance and maneuvering room you have, and thus how fast you can drive. These are traffic, road conditions, and visibility. First, we'll take a look at how traffic affects your choice of speed. The more cars there are on the road, the less room there is to maneuver and stop. That's why most speed limits are set based on the amount of traffic driving on that particular section of road, as well as where traffic can enter the road. The key is to adjust to both the speed limit and the actual amount of traffic on the road around you at any one time. One way to adjust to traffic is to go with the flow. Cars moving in the same direction at the same speed rarely hit one another. Crashes tend to happen when one driver is going faster than the other cars on the road. Constantly changing lanes also increases the chance of a collision. Since you don't have the road entirely to yourself, you'll almost always need to make adjustments to accommodate other vehicles, and adjusting your speed is a quick and effective way to do that. Traffic is one of the 3 things that determine how fast you can safely travel. Another factor is the type of road on which you're driving and the condition of that road. In a curve, the responsibility for controlling your car's path through the turn rests on the front tires. If you're moving too fast for the curvature of the turn, the tires can lose their grip and your car can slide right off the road. If there's a posted speed limit before a curve, believe it. In fact, curves often turn out to be sharper than they appear. A good rule of thumb is to complete any braking you need to do before you enter a turn. That way, you can avoid overloading the tire's grip and experiencing a skid. Safe speed is also affected by the surface of the road and conditions such as rain, snow, and ice. We'll address these later when we consider the effects of weather. Which brings up the last of the 3 items that affect safe speed: visibility, or the lack of it. The crests of hills can hide surprises. The best way to avoid an unpleasant surprise is to approach a crest at a speed that will allow you to stop for anything that you might find in your way. Blind intersections and driveways also need to be approached with caution. Visibility can also be affected by the weather, just like the surface of the road. This will be addressed in a later segment. Well, you've seen how speed can affect your ability to deal with traffic, the road you're traveling on, and your ability to see, and how, in turn, each determines how fast you can safely drive. The bottom line is this: just because there's a speed limit on a particular road does not mean that it's safe to drive at that speed. There may be many factors in play that will cause you to reduce your speed. To apply these concepts, let's take a look at some scenarios where adjusting your speed might be a good idea. What should you do now? Since you're surrounded by other cars, you've got no place to go in an emergency. You need to make some space. You can do that just by lifting off the accelerator briefly. This will help you establish empty space to at least one side. What are your options here? One option is to slow down and follow the truck. However, if the lane to the left is open, it might be better to safely change lanes. What should you do now? If you kept going at the same speed, you would pass alongside the oncoming vehicle at the narrowest part of the road. The best course of action is to slow down a bit so that you and the other car pass through that narrow part one at a time. Wherever you are, you need space around your vehicle. You never know what other drivers will do. That's why you should always leave space to the front, sides, and the rear of your vehicle. You are also responsible for choosing the most appropriate speed at any point in time. As an added benefit, selecting a safe, appropriate speed will also help provide you with more space, the driver's best friend.